Hey everyone, this is Al Backton here, Managing Director of Architecture and Platforms here at KINETIQ. Welcome back to our series on KINETIQ Foresight for Finance within Microsoft Dynamics Business Performance Planning. In our last video, we talked about the overview of what we were looking to cover here. Now we're going to be deep diving into our first page right here, the control tower. For some context, a big pain point we've heard from a lot of clients is the need to be able to have full financial and operational visibility into where exactly their planning is, as well as what their financials from a budgeting and forecasting standpoint look like compared to last year. With this particular page right here, we're calling the control tower, you're not only going to be able to see the statuses of exactly where exactly each of your team members are for all the different business units you're managing, for example, within your D365 F&O space, but you're also going to be able to configure those and change those utilizing Microsoft Dynamics Business Performance Planning's table edit visual. So on here, for example, I have the ability to go ahead and change statuses right from within the screen right here. So if I wanted to, for example, change from in progress to completed for this particular business unit, I can quickly make this change right here and then see my statuses update in real time. This means you're going to have the ability to be able to see all your various different statuses in real time here. What this means is you are not guessing anymore. You know exactly where your plans are at, such as your CapEx plan status. The other piece that's going to be crucial here is that security is going to be enabled within your solution. So all different members will be able to look at the same solution but see a different cut of data. Maybe I only have the ability to see my cut of data right here for BU Corp. The other piece that we also wanted to introduce here to ensure that your team has a starting point for the planning process is the ability to be able to copy data from last year into this year's budget. So what this means is that you don't have to rely on having to gather many different spreadsheets across your various different organizations. Instead, you can take data sourced from your D365 Dynamics platform, move it into business performance planning, and then have the ability to be able to have that as a starting point for this year's budget with all of your seasonality applied. So as an example right here, with the business performance planning solution, what we can actually go ahead and do here is take our data from this year's budget, and what we could do is we could use last year's actuals as a starting point for this year's budget for our budgeting process right here. By simply hitting the business performance planning copy visual copy button, we can immediately change our results right here. So now what you can immediately see is that our last year's actuals and this year's budget immediately match, allowing us to be able to start our planning process. So whether you have one entity or multiple entities that you're managing within your business, it's going to be very easy for you to be able to take last year's data and use that for this year's budget and forecast process for your FP&A teams. So in our next video, we'll be talking all about revenue driver-based planning and account-based budgeting, so that you can understand exactly how we can start the budgeting process and get that ready for our revenue driver-based planning module. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video. This is Alp signing out.